let's talk about Master Grade 1/100 scale Gundam Barbatos. Allegedly. Possibly. Who knows? The reason why I'm saying that is of the recent announcements we got from Twitter, from Tag Hobbies, from all media sites, talking about the possibility that we're going to get a 1/100 scale Gundam Barbatos. But is it a Master Grade? Why didn't it come out right there? Why didn't it say Master Grade? We have the high resolution version of this kit, which I've heard is pretty good, pretty strong. But it doesn't say Master Grade. Are we getting a metal build? I don't think we're going to get another normal grade version of this, of the 1/100 scale. And I don't have the 1/100 scale Gundam Barbatos anymore because I recently sold it. But now with this latest announcement, many people are speculating what is what. I have to say, with all intent, my heart says it has to be a Master Grade. It really does. It's been many years since the series came out, and even though there are other series that definitely deserves a Master Grade kit, like let's say, oh I don't know, the Bill Fighter from Bill Fighter's Try, or G Self. We definitely want to see a Master Grade of that. But yes, Barbatos is something that many people have been clamoring about for many for when the time we first were introduced to this new frame. We were all eager to see this new kit when it was first announced. I think it was what, 2015, 2016, something like that. Maybe a little older than that, but when we first saw this, the silhouette, we were all intrigued with it, and we said, "Oh, this is actually really neat. This is actually different than we normally expect from an RX-78-2." But obviously, every other Gundam before RX-72 has always been different. But this one was unique in many aspects, where you can actually see the inner workings of the inner frame, and there were many possibilities for this. I remember when I went to Comic-Con in New York, and they were showing the part sets for this and the part sets for the 1/100 scale, which I don't have, of course, and how that inner frame, the skeletal inner frame of the Barbatos, was basically the blueprint for all the other mobile suits, like the Gucci Rebake, I think the Vidar, no, not the Vidar, but I was going to say the Kamaris, the Bale, you know, all those other mobile suits, using that inner frame. So, seeing that was really a welcome sight, and a lot of people were eating it up. And I tell you something, if you go to a model store, there's a lot of those kits out there. A lot of those kits. These kits are not expensive, and they're pretty cool to build, you know, and use as scratch building material for anyone who's interested. So you have to give credit for IBO for doing something like that. But moving on to the real reasons why we're seeing this, we're seeing this notice, these two pictures right here, seals it right there, saying we're getting this. And they're doing the same thing with the kind of like a silhouette, where you don't see the actual kit. You see the inner frame, and then of course you see it with its armor. So now the question is this: is this a Master Grade? It has to be a Master Grade. It doesn't make any sense to not be a Master Grade. And I don't think this will be a metal build, because lately we've been seeing notifications of metal builds, you know, with the strike and then and what are the other kit that I forgot. Can't be a high resolution, because now we just recently found out about the high resolution G Gundam, God Gundam. So it can't be, and it can't be perfect, because it's not 1/60th scale. Of course, a 1/60th scale Barbatos would be pretty sick to see that. But seeing a Master Grade Barbatos, that is actually a welcome sight. Which of course now brings me to the first of a series of pet peeves after hearing this announcement, because in all due respect, the inner frame is a nice inner frame, but it's also a pain in the ass inner frame because it's not the strongest inner frame from this line of kits. It has its own little drawbacks, and that is because, of course, this is too light of a kit. It's not as robust and heavy as a normal master grade. And to give you an example, I'm going to put you over to the side, drag your mace there. I'll take my 1/100 scale RX-78-2, which you can see it's bigger. But again, this is a robust and strong kit because of the inner frame. The inner frame is strong. The inner frame on this is not. Even at 1/100 scale, it doesn't mean it's a strong kit. We're going to use the high grade as an example here, because when I built the 1/100 scale version, first things first, the inner frame is identical to Lupus Rex, to Kamars, but there are certain aspects that they kind of mishmash and did, but whatever. But I think the inner frame is all the same. Going from the legs up, you have this joint here that goes right through this on the high grade. On the 1/100 scale version, you have one part going in the back and the other one going in the front, because there's like a little notch, a little thing that goes right through the hole, and it's supposed to connect to that. It doesn't lock onto that. I hate this thing. It keeps coming off when I put it off to the side. It doesn't lock onto this. It just basically is held on by pressure, and that's the issue with the 1/100 scales. You have to like literally find a way to glue it in to that peg section here, so that way it won't pop out in the back. Annoying, very, very annoying, especially when I was building it. And doing that, so also, it's too loose. It doesn't have any strength there to hold it in. I think that I now know the reasons why Bandai introduced the extra base, base stand for the kit, for one of these two. I forgot which one it was. So you can hold it up. But as you can see, like on my RX, I don't need it on the base stand. It's perfectly right there. But for this, you need a base stand because of the legs. The feet, I mean. The leg structure going from down up, the weakest part on this has to be the knees. And unfortunately, it is too loose. It has to be tightened up. I've always had issues like keeping it up and using a base stand just so I can keep it up is something that is a little bit annoying. And maybe if they decide, if the master grade is possible, I have a feeling we're going to see an increase in size by, let's say, 10% to compensate the strengthening of the parts, and maybe putting in more gimmicks. Now, I don't know what other gimmicks you can put on this other than the tubing back here. You see the little hydraulic part there? That's another one that they're going to probably figure out. And I think maybe they may end up putting a hydraulic part at the point when you bend it here, so that way it does have 2 points of connections. Like the RX-78-2, it has I believe one part to bend, but then you have some strengthening parts near the thigh armor, and I believe below the leg armor. That's what I'm thinking. So that would be a possibility here to strengthen the knees and the ankles. This has to be at least one part where they're either locked into place, or hell, use screws for that matter, so this thing doesn't pop off. I don't think this pops off, but no, I don't. The other one did, because it kept on popping off. Moving up from the legs all the way up to the waist unit. Now the waist unit is, of course, the most unique part of the kit, especially the hydraulics. And these come with the hydraulics on both the 1/100 scales. It's a great looking gimmick. The only problem is that I've noticed it's on like a floating type connection, and sometimes when you try to get it in a nice pivoting position, it doesn't look right. I think that needs to be replaced or needs to be strengthened or maybe need to be redesigned again. I know it can't be done because the original Barbatos is already a kit that's set in stone, but you can try to like augment it a little bit, just so that way it looks good. I don't know if you guys remember, I showed off a hobby magazine with the master grade Zeta Gundam that had that hydraulic system that somebody custom made, and it was like huge. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that, but maybe that's a little bit too much. So that's a possibility. The torso is fine, and I don't think I have any issues with the actual inner frame of the arms. The only difference is though, like on the 1/100 scale, there's a section here where it's like sandwiched in together, the two parts. So one part connects to the body, the other one connects to the arm. And if you keep on moving it left and right or up and down or whatever, it will pop off, and then you have to put it back on again. That's a fix that needs to be done on that as well. So everything that I'm saying is possible. The only difference is that it has to be done. To do it, the inner frame has to be at least 10% bigger than the original, maybe even 20. For that, it may be a little bit bulkier, and it may be a little bit taller than the RX-78-2. As for the weaponry and gimmicks, well, it's okay. Probably going to be seeing the cannon, that long cannon that was in the anime, and the sword and the mace. The mace will have the gimmick where it pops out with that. I don't know if it's going to have that little weird shoulder armor that was used in one episode. That's actually just a waste of parts, just to add that onto it, so we don't see that. And if the inner frame is what I said is successful, clearly we're going to be seeing that inner frame being used for like Form 6 with the alligator weaponry, and then of course it could be applied to both the Lupus and Lupus Rex's master grades as well. But then I have a feeling if I say that, Bandai, that can happen. That can happen. Now, there were other they were showing images of what the what do you call it? The Penelope high grade is going to look like when it comes out, and of course, like I mentioned, the God Gundam has been announced, so we'll be seeing that too. But I think the biggest surprise is to seeing the 1/100 scale, possibly master grade Barbatos being announced. And according to this, it looks like it may come out. Actually, no, I didn't see no date. I'm actually looking at the date for Penelope. So, what are your thoughts on this? Is this a welcome sight to see the 1/100 scale master grade Barbatos coming out maybe this year? I have a feeling if they're announcing it at this time, we may be seeing it. We may be seeing it in Christmas. This will be a Christmas holiday item. So, that's my thoughts on the Barbatos. I hope you guys are excited as well. I hope you guys are ready for that if it comes out. But we'll be finding out more information coming next week, because this is basically a teaser. More information is going to be distributed by Bandai and by Bluefin on the weekend of the 4th of July. I think at the Anime Expo, and I forgot where it is, but we're going to be hearing a lot of news from there. So stay tuned for that. We'll comment it more. I'll comment it more as the day progresses. Obviously, we're going to be hearing just one announcement and maybe a few others, but who knows? But this is the main announcement that we're all waiting for. So with that being said, I'd like to thank you guys all for watching this quick little video, and stay tuned for more Gundam models yet to come. You guys all have a great day.